My sister said I was embarrassing the family by being a janitor. My sister said I was embarrassing the family because I mop floors while she argues billion-dollar cases. So I stopped explaining myself and let her trip over my reflection instead. I'm 30 with a high school diploma and no college. I work as a night janitor in a luxury office tower downtown. It's not glamorous, but it's clean work, honest pay, decent benefits, and nobody emails me on weekends. My older sister Veronica is 35 and a corporate attorney, an Ivy League graduate with a corner office and heels that cost more than my monthly rent. Our parents worship the ground she walks on. At every holiday, I get the same routine. My aunt asks if I'm still cleaning like it's a contagious disease. Veronica laughs and says, I love it, that some of us prefer low stress while others like ambition. Last Thanksgiving, she went further, telling me that mom lies about what I do, calling it facilities management because saying janitor would be too embarrassing. I laughed it off, but it stung. The implication was clear. My job meant I'd failed. What she didn't know was that I wasn't just mopping floors. I was listening. Over 5 years, I watched startups move into the building and either grow or die. I learned which founders treated people like assets and which treated them like people. I noticed which companies paid invoices late, which ones churned through staff, and which ones remembered the cleaners during Christmas. One night, on my break, I struck up a conversation with the CEO of a small marketing agency on the 14th floor. He stayed late, just like me. We talked about basketball, life, and taxes. I helped him haul boxes once when he was moving suites. He told me I was wasted here and asked if I'd ever thought about doing more. I told him I already did more than he realized. He laughed, but I wasn't joking. I've been quietly buying shares in the publicly traded companies that occupied the building, tiny bits at a time. Not the glamorous startups, but the reliable ones. The logistics firm, the software vendor, the dental group that owned half the city's clinics. Every time a tenant expanded to another floor, I bought a little more. If they could afford more space, they were growing. When markets dipped, I bought the dip, all while pushing my cart and pretending not to hear CFOs panicking on the phone. 3 months ago, Veronica's firm took over half our building for a new regional hub. It was a big move, complete with press releases and photos of her shaking hands in the same lobby I mopped. She celebrated by hosting a family brunch in the building cafe. She arrived in a designer suit, pointed at the top floors, and said this was her domain now. I smiled and told her I hoped she got favorable lease terms. She said I wouldn't understand the numbers, but I understood them very well. I'd read the filings. Her firm's expansion was more expensive than they'd planned, and their debt ratio wasn't pretty. 2 weeks later, the building announced it was being acquired by a real estate investment group, the very same one I'd been investing in for years. My supervisor called me into his office to tell me the new owners wanted someone in-house who knew the building as the new assistant facilities manager. It came with a raise, salary, benefits, an office, and a day shift. I said yes. My title changed from janitor to assistant facilities manager overnight. Same muscles, better pay, and a badge that opened new doors. The building's new owner, the REIT, was partly mine. So when Veronica came through the lobby later and saw me at the security desk in a button-down shirt instead of coveralls, she did a double take. She asked what I was doing upstairs, and I told her I'd been promoted. She asked if I managed the other janitors. I told her I managed the building and mentioned that my real estate fund had acquired her firm's lease. Every time her company paid rent, a sliver of it landed in my portfolio. She laughed, then realized I wasn't kidding. At Christmas, she softened. She told me I'd always been good with numbers and maybe she had misjudged me. I told her she'd judged the title, not the work. For once, she had no comeback. Turns out, embarrassing the family paid dividends.